Well, Rosie, to me, was the woman in the shop. She was a tiny woman, and I worked in an office in Liberty Hall and was sent down every morning to get the milk and the biscuits for the office with my book. And I handed my book to Rosie, and she signed it. That meant I would be paying at the end of the week. And she was a quiet woman, it seemed to me, and sort of always looked to me as though she could read my thoughts. Now, as a 15-year-old, it's not something you particularly want somebody else to be doing. But she was, I think, a woman who could tell people much better than anyone that I know, because she looked at them and I think she almost saw through them. That was my impression as a 15-year-old. I think she judged us as people. She, I think, gave me credit kind of for what I was doing. Wondered if I'd last the course. Thought maybe I was sort of presuming a bit at times. And very strongly, I think you have to keep your place. But she wasn't in any way kind of forceful or pushy or any of those kind of things. She was gentle, and she'd stand back and look at you. And I think she'd summarise what you were in that short moment. But not in any kind of nasty way, but she knew, I think, people in a way we probably don't. I suppose if you've been around the kind of situation she was in, you learn that quick. But she never talked as Nellie, the other woman, did, who was a non-stop talker, I think.
I know in your book you talked about seeing Rosie having a big argument with a man who'd made a comment about Ireland and the Second World War, and Rosie losing her temper and Nellie looking after her.
I do. I remember that because the man said something like, we should have stayed with Britain, and in the aftermath of the war there would have been plenty of work going in Britain and we'd have money in our pockets. And Rosie leapt out at him, and a tiny little woman, she was banging on his chest and saying, not exactly curse words, but certainly words that were not to his benefit. And he was trying to back away, and the other men were trying to get him out, and Nellie was trying to, Rosie, come in and have a cup of tea, don't upset yourself. But Rosie was furious.
And what was the shop like? Because I think you said to me before when I met you that the shop was always very crowded.
Well, there were busmen who seemed to assemble there because I suppose they'd nowhere to go in between buses, I don't know. And so you'd have to go in kind of through them, and very often you'd find the union hierarchy there as well, because they seemed to mingle in and out. I would only know them kind of in passing, but they would be kind of asking questions and chatting about politics or whatever, way above my head.
What was the attitude towards Rosie? Like, were people very aware of her past? No, I don't think so. Do people know that she took part in 1916?
I wouldn't think so. No, some might have,
yeah.
But if so, they wouldn't have said it. But
yeah.
A lot of people, I don't think, knew.
They just thought of Rosie as the woman in the shop?
Just the woman in the shop, yeah, the tiny little woman. It was kind of funny to see her. She'd have to lean up to put things on the counter. She was very, very small, and I was tall as a kid. She was looking up at me.